What's up, guys? Back in today with more Mayonaka Heart Tune, this time with episode 7. It was a pretty fun episode last time. I think I did see people comment that it was new material, not adapted, which was pretty cool. I always do like a bit of that myself. I know a lot of people don't, but yeah, it was a fun episode. I think you could just kind of feel that it didn't really hold like too many like repercussions for the future or anything, to be fair. But it was a fun time. Like, if you were to ask someone, one of these episodes is a filler, you have to pick which one. I think 90% of people probably would have said last episode. Probably more than 90% actually. But again, it's still a pretty good time. Oh, she recognise her? Does it look like she broke a guitar string? Can't lie, I'm surprised the teachers allowed that. I feel like even in the UK it'd probably be pretty like frowned upon. The orderly Japan. Do they have like street buskers and stuff in Japan? I've seen like a couple anime. Jellyfish in the Night had like a group of girls that like busking on the streets, and it seemed like almost illegal. There used to be this guy that used to go a few places, but it was like this karaoke. It was like this like 90-year-old guy. It was really poor. He was homeless, I think, and he had this puppet in his hand, and he used to just go like this and like pretend to sing with a puppet over like a song, and it was so bad. But can't help but feel bad for the guy. He's like super old, homeless, and yeah, it was a bit of a legend. It's almost like part of the town in a way. Do song. Slime green. Oh, we know her very well, I bet. I bet he knows her very well. He's edgy like that. I kind of get it though. I feel like a lot of bands, especially upcoming bands and stuff, do this. Eventually, you do need to find your groove. You need to create your own songs. Can't just impersonate other people and such. Well, I say that, there's some of my favourite like songs were like versions of like very different stylized versions of like classic songs from like rock bands and metal bands and stuff. Do you know what I love? A version of I think it's Aimer's version of is it Yellow from Coldplay? No, it Viva La Vida. I think it's a version of Viva La Vida from Aimer, and it's really good. God damn now. Oh, we switched it on. So I saw a really interesting conversation about this yesterday, actually. About the fact that just being a great singer is not enough anymore, and I totally agree. It was about, I don't know what it was from, it was something like this podcast, and yeah, it made some really awesome points that I very much agree with. Like I said, singing is not the be all end all now. If you've got a great voice, you're not guaranteed to be great. You've got sex appeal is a massive one nowadays. You see people like, I think it's like Sexy Red, Ice Spice. I I don't listen to them much, but everything I have heard from them is just pure fucking garbage, in my opinion. Apologies if you're offended by that. For me, I think it's absolute garbage. And their whole deal is sex appeal, and they're massively popular based off that, based off how they kind of branded themselves and kind of sold themselves. Whereas you probably have loads of incredible singers, much better, that are just nobodies because they haven't got this like specific kind of way that they kind of brand or market themselves. But yeah, on the podcast, it was some older guy saying that back in the day, back in my day, they used to. You'd like sign with a record company and such, and they'd do all the branding and marketing and such for you. Whereas nowadays, you very much kind of got to do that yourself. You've got to figure all that stuff out yourself, which is really interesting. Um, but yeah, you've got to just on that point, like even this, like you've got to incorporate like. I remember watching performances where there'd just be a singer just standing still in the middle of the stage singing, and everybody would be like encaptured by that. But as I said, it's kind of not enough nowadays. You need to have some kind of crazy performance, visual, dance stuff going on. You need to get involved. And again, there needs to be some kind of sex appeal, and yeah, a whole bunch of stuff that kind of detracts from the singing but makes it a better performance. It's very like Americanized in that way, I guess. But yeah, as I said, you can see the difference of like amount of performances that are just like someone singing. Like the Super Bowl, for example, did you see that? I mean, I know it's like a visual kind of show and such as well, but I didn't watch like the whole thing, but it just like it seemed like way too over the top, like especially because the singing wasn't actually that great. I don't have any kind of political thoughts, so I don't even bother asking. But it didn't like sound that great. But visually, it was pretty cool. But it was just a bunch of bravado, no? Okay, that sounds a bit better. I can't lie, her face is a bit weird. Like the animation on it. But it's like what's it called? Compressing. When she like looks up or something a little bit. Or down, I'm not really sure which way it's looking, but a little creepy actually. Rose stun locked right here. Sorry, I do have to question how the karaoke knows these lyrics. Is this an actual song? Got some fight in her. The mode has been switched back. I was gonna say you're looking dead in the eyes saying that. That's kind of crazy work. That is. Look at you. Ran away screaming. I mean, again, to be fair, like she just went straight up to him, just like. Even if you're in like performance mode and singing mode or whatever, that's crazy work. That is like. There's no way you don't actually love him if you do something like that, right? Like, even as a joke, I'd be pretty wary to do that to someone. In fact, that's the whole reason I wouldn't do that as a joke, because it's very personal. And even if you say you're joking, it's one of those things where you see it in anime a lot, where they say, "Oh, I'm just joking," and they're just like, you know that they're not. But even if they are, you think they're not in real life. Yeah, interesting start. Kind of reminds me of a scene I watched yesterday. Watched Doctor Strangelove, or the I can't remember the full title. Something about loving the bomb, and it was alright. Seems like the reviews said that to be like a masterpiece, and I just kind of thought it was okay. But it had a few very funny scenes in there. One of this guy riding the fucking yeah. A bus won't take us to the moon. Hugo, oh, hug notes. What that means. That's probably the artist. Oh, he's not great. I feel like his voice actors purposefully not being great though. They're usually really good. See, I've never done karaoke myself. I'd be very embarrassed to do karaoke, to be honest with you. But I guess I did do a bit with I think it's Guitar Hero World Tour. It came with like a mic, drums, and yeah, I never really used the mic or drums very much though, to be honest. It was cool in theory, but it just didn't end up being too fun. But yeah, I guess I did a few times. Ah, that's. I was wondering what that said. But yeah, you'd have to like try and match like the harmony with your voice, and I was just awful at it. We're just gonna have to practice and beat you. Well, it's yeah, it's really embarrassing. I imagine in regards like you're really showing everybody your raw. I like Taylor Swift again, an artist that I haven't really heard much of at all as well. But everything I have heard sounds like a teenage girl getting over a breakup, and that's exactly what it was. I think it really is very revealing. The Yamabuki way. Hard to believe. That's a big crowd. What was this for? Short notice. if she was to make new songs, how would she? That's not nearly enough time. Trauma. This is the error he set up. I was expecting some kind of like massive dome or something. Yeah, I kind of did. As I said, I'm supposed to like hire out some kind of massive venue. To say, I want to see what they say. Rika for the win. We stand in Ohana. Sloppy. Pretty fucking awesome. Such a mature voice, bro. It's crazy. Sounds kind of bad, but I'm not sure you want them there. Standing there still like that. I don't know, I think he done a pretty good job there. I don't know how it went down, to be honest. Was at 100. That's pretty good to know. I imagine 100's the max. Pure guesswork, but yeah. Dang. The bonds of men. A very mature review. Talk about mature voices. How very mature review, Yamabuki. That was some Uncle Ben type advice right there. The XC's March. Sorry guys, I literally had a shave just before this, and sometimes the hair goes up into my nose, and I was like sneezing a bit before this started, and I think I can feel some still in there. Bit annoying, but I usually like go like this and like shave like that, but sometimes it still finds its way in there. You look exactly the same, but on weight. Another thing with women's sizing though, it does seem incredibly like. I mean, it's not a massive gain, but like the size differences seem very. The size of them feels very small from size to size, but the numbers get quite exponentially larger, even though the size difference is not as much as the numbers would suggest. So I think that does something to your perception as a woman. But lift your skirt up, why don't you? Just gonna leave her there. I've never bought one of these. Never. It's just always know it's a scam, bro. I've also never seen anyone win one. That's why I've never bought one. You see those people with like those mega magnets that cheat and like drag their stuff with the magnets. Yeah, there's no way they'd make those those claws that sharp. That gives you way too much grip. Already unrealistic. Some kind of wild animal. Man, that is all of them, isn't it? I'm pretty certain about that now. I mean, I said that in the first episode. It could be all of them. The more we hear, especially with like very specific stuff like that, like what other one of these girls is saying that? Could say the same about the singer earlier as well. It is all of them, isn't it? Like this, like surely, like it's got to be all of them, unless there's just like crazy coincidences. By a beautiful woman like me. I don't think she said she's a 10, but yeah, I think she said by a beautiful woman like me. So I think she is my favourite, you know. Yeah, I agree actually. That was over quite quickly, and he didn't even react that much. How? What? Excuse me? How could lighting be lewd? Jiggler. That was the first time I've heard anyone say that. Miss Banana. hug bus, whatever it was. It's all way too coincidental, isn't it? They're all there. They're all Apollo. They all are. All of them. Every single one of these girls. Surely. Like, it's like being a detective. Sometimes you can put things down to coincidence, but after a certain amount of times and clues, it less becomes that and becomes a pattern. It's less coincidence and more a pattern. More. Sorry, I did just miss a bit there. Maybe we'll sort out timer. But yeah, like I said, it starts not becoming a coincidence. The amount of times we've had, like, I mean, even like today with like hyper specific moments as well that recalled back, like super specific for some of these girls, and because it's like that from more than one, I now expect it to be all of them. But maybe that's a bit of a red herring, and maybe it is only one. Yeah, maybe they were influenced by these girls and their opinions or something. Who knows? Who knows? If it is all of them, I feel like they might have given that away a bit too early in the show. Like I said, right from episode 1, I thought that. Not just me, by the way. A lot of people I saw thought that could be the case. That it would be all of them. But yeah, again, the classic kind of pattern recognition that people always want to throw away for some reason. So they all like that band, but what was with the food and the other stuff? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Pretty good episode today. Again, I will say some of the facial animations just seem a bit odd. I lie to you. The face looked quite different from like. I'm not sure if they're like over animating it, but like there, for example, like looks like two different people from that shot to the very next one. This especially looks like a bit. I don't know, a bit dodgy to me. Not massively, but yeah. Other than that, though, pretty good episode. A little bit of time for each of the girls. I do feel like it felt very quick. I feel like maybe they could have took the pacing a bit slower here, especially considering. I imagine the source material readers probably won't be too happy about this as well, because this episode felt very quick, and the fact that they're putting in anime only material like last week, I imagine that probably pisses off a few of the source material readers. Like, you can't even adapt the actual stuff with the proper pacing, and yet you decide to put in your own stuff. That probably pissed me off a little bit if I was like a mega fan of like a source material that got adapted or something. So I get that. Again, I think it'd be appreciated if they adapted like everything like perfectly or like good. But yeah, I actually imagine source material readers probably didn't like that very much. But yeah, some decent moments at the end. Like I said, felt a bit quick. Would have liked to tone down the pacing a bit, but the stuff with Ano Hana, I think her name is, that was pretty good today. So yeah, decent time. Probably one of the weaker episodes, but still pretty fun time. Do let me know what you guys think about this one though down in the comments. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date though. And I'll catch you next week with episode 8.